thanks again for joining us for another how-to video with Shakespeare in Detroit. My name is Schwartz. I'm the production manager for Shakespeare in Detroit. And today with us we have Vicki Morgan. She's one of our fantastic acting company members, and we're going to show you today how to wear a wig. So, in order to save time, we've gone ahead and we've pin curled most of Vicki's hair. But to give you an example of how to pin curl, I've left two sections of Vicki's hair down. We're going to go ahead and do that. So, what I like to do for a pin curl is I take two fingers and I wrap the hair right around like that, give it a flip, hold it down to the head, take our bobby pin, and you always make sure that your bobby pins cross so that way it holds them down. And you don't need more than two. Two is always sufficient. Now, what is the purpose of a pin curl? Well, one, the pin curl helps keep the hair flat against the head underneath the wig, but also certain pin curls act as anchors for the wig. So it is so important that you have at least 4 anchor points on a wig. You want 2 in the front over the temples and 2 in the back right at the nape of the neck. So we go ahead, we do our last pin curl. And after we're all pin curled, we will be ready to put her wig cap on. So at this point, now we can go ahead and put our wig cap on. It's important to wear a wig cap underneath the wig to help keep the performer's hair confined to their head and keep the flyaways and everything else in place. And it just gives us a nice smooth layer between the wig and the performer's head. So when I go ahead and put a wig cap on someone else, I have them grab the front and I stretch it over the head. And you want to go ahead and put it farther over your head than you need to and adjust after. So now, Vicki, you can slide your fingers out. And then I take the wig cap and I slide it back just until I see the beginning of the performer's natural hairline. So at this point, you're going to need to go ahead and anchor down the wig cap, or else it'll just fly off your head. And this is how you do it, and this is where your pin curls come into play. You push one of your hairpins. Now this is different than a bobby pin. This is a hairpin. We have short hairpins and we have longer hairpins, and I use the shorter ones for the wig cap. So what I do is I push it through, flip it, and push it back. And by doing that, that pin is locked in and that wig cap isn't going to go anywhere. So the points that you need to do that at are on those 4 anchor pin curls that you did on the head. And then I will go ahead, if you tilt your head down for me, Vicki, and I will do the back of the wig into those pin curls. And this is just to ensure that it's all nice and stable, because there's nothing worse than your wig slipping off your head when you're on stage. And if you lift your head for us, Vicki. Now, oftentimes your wig caps are too big. Sometimes you can use a pantyhose or a commercial wig cap, that's fine. This little bit of extra isn't going to make a difference inside of the wig, but just in case you want to do something with it, I can always take it and pin it down, and it'll be out of the way. So now we're ready to go ahead and apply the wig. This happens to be a lace front wig. It is 100% hand tied, and it was actually built for a different performer, so it is not custom to Vicki's head. So what I went ahead and did was I took a little bit of powder foundation or eyeshadow, and it was in closer to the color of the wig, and I went ahead and I painted the front of Vicki's hair, as this hairline doesn't exactly match Vicki's hairline. So that'll help disguise whatever hairs do stick out from underneath the lace. Also, the lace on this wig was dyed for a performer with a much darker skin tone, so I went ahead and cut the lace back pretty far, whereas in theater oftentimes we'll leave a little bit more lace. That helps increase the longevity of the wig, but for this case we went and cut it back because the lace was darker and it wouldn't match Vicki's skin tone. So, same thing as with the wig cap. Vicki will take 2 fingers, grab the front of the wig, and you look in the mirror to make sure that you are all lined up. And then she slips her fingers out, and you take the sideburns of the wigs, or the wig rather, and you make sure that you're even with Vicki's eyes and above her ears. So on a commercial wig, when you buy a commercial wig, there'll be 2 little points on either side that come into a triangle. With a ventilated wig like this, you have to make sure that you check it in the mirror and up front to make sure that you're in the right place. So now what I want to do is I want to slide that wig back just until I see her natural hairline. And And then, once it's there, we can go ahead and adjust, make sure we're in the right place. And here's where our pin curls come into play. So now, we take the longer wig pins, and we bend it just a little bit. I like to give it a little bit of a bend so that I can find it inside the wig. I feel for that pin curl, and I go ahead and I pierce through the lace, get into the pin curl the same way you did the wig cap, flip it, and push it back. And once you're anchored underneath that pin curl, you know that wig's not gonna go anywhere. They can flip around, they can dance, they can do whatever they need to, and they'll be good to go on stage. So again, I take the pin, I go through the wig, get it into the pin curl, flip it over, and push it in. And then you'll repeat the same process in the back as well. And after you're all pinned in, you're ready to go. Thank you so much for watching today. We hope you learned something. Don't forget to like and share. And also thank you to the Music Hall for hosting us for our video today. Please make sure to join us again when we do our next tutorial. And also make sure to like and subscribe to our Patreon account so that you can help us change the artistic landscape in our great city of Detroit. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.